Hi guys, Busy Bee here. So today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this fun little mushroom. If you would like to follow along with the written pattern as well, you can find the link to my shop in the description below. This pattern works up super easily and super quickly. The materials you'll be needing include your crochet hook. Today we'll be using a size 3.5mm or an E4. You'll also need a stitch marker, your yarn needle, a pair of scissors, some stuffing, and your yarn. You'll be needing two different colors, one for your stem and spots, and one for the cap of the mushroom. So let's get started. Begin with the mushroom cap yarn color of your choice. Here I'll be using red. For round 1, we're going to be making a magic ring of 6 single crochet. So begin by making the magic ring, then taking it off your fingers and chaining 1. Now we will insert 6 single crochet into this magic ring. Once we've done our 6 single crochet, we can go ahead and close the magic ring up. Now we can insert our stitch marker. And we're done with round 1. For round 2, we're going to increase in each of the 6 stitches. So going to that first stitch, we're going to make 1 single crochet. And then going in that same stitch, we're going to make our second single crochet. Now we're going to repeat this process for the remaining 5 stitches. Okay, so now we're done with round 2, we can go ahead and place our stitch marker back into the last stitch of the round. After the round 2, we should have 12 single crochet. For round 3, we're going to increase in the first stitch. So go into that first stitch and place 2 single crochet. And then moving on to the second stitch, we will place 1 single crochet. We'll repeat this pattern for the remaining 10 stitches. Okay, so now we're done with round 3, we can go ahead and place our stitch marker back into the round. After round 3, we should have 18 single crochet. For round 4, we're going to single crochet once into each of the 18 stitches. So going to that first stitch, we're just going to place 1 single crochet and then move on to their second stitch. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way around until we have 18 single crochet. So at the end of round 4, we should still have 18 single crochet. We can then place our stitch marker back into our last stitch of the round and begin round 5. For round 5, we're going to increase in the first stitch. So go into that first stitch and make 1 single crochet, into that same stitch and make 2 single crochet. Then going to the second stitch, we're going to make 1 single crochet. And into the third stitch, we're going to make 1 single crochet there as well. Now we're going to repeat these steps for the remaining 15 stitches. At the end of round 5, we should have 24 single crochet. We can now place our stitch marker and begin round 6. For round 6, we're going to single crochet 1 stitch into each of the 24 stitches. At the end of round 6, we should still have 24 single crochet. We can then place our stitch marker back into that last stitch of the round and begin round 7. For round 7, we're going to increase in the first stitch, so go into that first stitch and make 2 single crochet, and then single crochet once into each of the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. We will now repeat this pattern for the remaining 20 stitches. At the end of round 7, we should have 30 single crochet. We can now place our stitch marker back into the last stitch of the round and begin round 8. For round 8, we're going to single crochet in each of the 30 stitches. After round 8, we should still have 30 single crochet. We can now place our stitch marker back into the last stitch of the round and begin round 9. For round 9, we're going to increase in the first stitch, so go into that first stitch and make 2 single crochet, and then single crochet once into each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now repeat this for the remaining 25 stitches. At the end of round 9, we should have 36 single crochet. We can now replace our stitch marker and begin round 10. For round 10, we're going to be working a little bit differently. We're only going to be working in the front loop. So this loop right here. We're going to work in this loop only, ignoring this back loop. So just in this front loop. Okay, so going to that front loop only, we're going to make 2 single crochet. So this is 1 single crochet, and going to that same loop, make 1 more single crochet. We will then front loop single crochet in the next 8 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We will now repeat this pattern for the remaining 27 stitches. Okay, so here I'm just going to make 1 single crochet and then a slip stitch to end off this round. At the end of round 10, we should have 40 single crochet. We can then fasten off, leaving a long tail. We can then hide the tail, and I'll meet you back when that is done. Okay, so here I have the tails hidden, and this is how our cap should look. We now have the option to add the white accent spots that go along the top of the cap. This part is optional, which means you don't have to add them, but I'm going to show you how to add them here. Start by cutting a long piece of the white colored yarn or color yarn of your choice. We can then thread it onto our needle. And then use this piece to sew lines all around the mushroom cap. You want to keep in mind that we should be sewing the lines above the loops that we have made in round 10. So going from the inside of the cap to the outside, leaving a little bit of a tail, we will just randomly sew lines all around the cap. I did mine at random, but you can also arrange them in a pattern or however you like. So you just go from the back and then pull it out to the front and back into the back of the cap. I'm just going to speed up this part here, and I'll meet you back after the tails are hidden and I'm all done with the lines. Okay, so now here's the cap. I finished all my spots, and now we're ready to move on to the next step, which is to make the stem of the mushroom. Okay, so for the stem, we're going to use the off-white color, or the color of your choice, and we're going to begin round 1 by making a magic ring of 6 single crochet. So taking our hook and our yarn, begin by making a magic ring. We will then chain 1 and insert 6 single crochet into this magic ring. Once we have 6 single crochet, we can go ahead and close the magic ring up. We will then insert our stitch marker into the last stitch of the round and begin round 2. For round 2, you're going to increase in each of the 6 stitches. So going to that first single crochet, we're going to place 2 single crochet into that same stitch. So this is going to be number 1, and this is going to be number 2. We will now repeat this for the remaining 5 stitches. At the end of round 2, we should have 12 single crochet. We can now put our stitch marker back into that last stitch of the round and begin round 3. For round 3, you're going to increase in the first stitch, so go into that first stitch and make 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, and then single crochet once into the next stitch. We will now repeat this pattern for the remaining 10 stitches. the end of round 3, we should have 18 single crochet. We can then go ahead and place that stitch marker back into the last stitch of the round and begin round 4. For round 4, we're going to be working in the back loops only. So ignoring the front loop, we're only going to be working in this back loop, right here. Okay, so not this front loop, only in this back loop. So going to that back loop, we're going to make 1 single crochet in each of the 18 back loops. So that's 1 single crochet, and this is going to be our second single crochet. Now we're just going to repeat this all the way around. At the end of round 4, we should still have 18 single crochet. We can go ahead and place that stitch marker back to the last stitch of the round and begin round 5. Rounds 5 through 6 are repeating this same pattern of just single crocheting in each of the 18 stitches, working with both loops again. I'm just going to speed up this part for you, since rounds 5 through 6 are just repeating single crochets. Okay, so at the end of round 5 and 6, we should still have 18 single crochet. We can now begin round 7. We're going to begin by decreasing using the first 2 stitches, and then single crocheting once in the next 4 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will then repeat this pattern for the remaining 12 stitches. Okay, so at the end of round 7, we should have 15 single crochet. We can then insert our stitch marker back into the last stitch of the round and begin round 8. For round 8, we're going to begin by making a decrease using the first 2 stitches. We're then going to single crochet once in each of the next 3 stitches. So this is going to be our first single crochet, our second single crochet, and our third. We will now repeat these steps for the remaining 10 stitches. At the end of round 8, we should have 12 single crochet. We can now place our stitch marker back to the last stitch of the round and begin round 9. For round 9, we're going to single crochet once into each of the 12 stitches. At the end of round 9, we should still have 12 single crochet. We can now go ahead and place our stitch marker back into the last stitch of the round and begin round 10. For round 10, we're going to begin by making a decrease using the first 2 stitches. Now we are going to single crochet once into each of the next 4 stitches. So here's our first single crochet, then our second, and our third, and our fourth. Now repeat this for the remaining 6 stitches. At the end of round 10, we should have 10 single crochet. We can now go ahead and place our stitch marker back to the last stitch of the round and begin round 11. Rounds 11 through 13 are just single crocheting once in each of the 10 stitches. Since rounds 11 through 13 are just repeating the same pattern of single crochets, I will run through this part and meet you back to start round 14. Okay, so at the end of round 11s through 13, we should still have 10 single crochet, and we can begin round 14. Begin by placing 2 single crochet into that first stitch, then single crochet once into the next stitch. Now repeat this pattern for the remaining 8 stitches. At the end of round 14, we should have 15 single crochet. We can now go ahead and place our stitch marker back into that last stitch of the round and begin round 15. For round 15, we're going to start by placing 2 single crochet into the first stitch to make an increase, and then single crochet once into each of the next 2 stitches. Now repeat this for the remaining 12 stitches. At the end of round 15, we should have 20 single crochet. We can now go ahead and place our stitch marker back into the last stitch of the round and begin round 16. For round 16, we're going to begin by placing 2 single crochet into the first stitch to make an increase, and then single crochet once into each of the next 3 stitches. Now repeat this for the remaining 16 stitches. At the end of round 16, we should have 25 single crochet. We can now go ahead and place our stitch marker back to the last stitch around it and begin round 17. For round 17, we're going to begin by placing 2 single crochet into the first stitch to make an increase, and then single crochet once into each of the next 4 stitches. We can now repeat these steps for the remaining 20 stitches. At the end of round 17, we should have 30 single crochet. We can now go ahead and place our stitch marker back to the last stitch of the round and begin round 18. For round 18, we're going to begin by placing 2 single crochet in the first stitch to make an increase, and then single crocheting in the next 4 stitches. We can now repeat this pattern all the way around for the remaining 25 stitches. At the end of round 18, we should have 36 single crochet. We can now slip stitch the end off the round and fasten off, leaving an extra long tail for sewing. Okay, so this is how the finished stem should look. Our next step is going to be to sew the stem to the cap. So for this part, you're going to need your stem, your cap, your yarn needle, a stuffing stick, and your stuffing. So taking your stem, stuffing stick, and stuffing, we're going to stuff the stem first. Okay, so now here's how the stem should look after we have finished stuffing. We will now use the long tail we left to sew the two pieces together. For a more seamless join, we can hide this tail better into the stitches of the round. So going to that next stitch from where we fastened off, and then going to the last stitch where we had fastened off. This just creates a little more of a seamless join. Now we're ready to sew the pieces together. So bring in our cap and insert your needle through the cap in round 10. We'll just be working through the loops that we didn't work in round 10. So grab your cap, go in through that first stitch, and then go into the back loop of the stem. So we have one loop and one loop from each of the two pieces. Then we can pull through and repeat that process. So go into the loop in round 10 and then that back loop of the stem, and we're just going to repeat this all the way around until you have a few stitches remaining to leave room for stuffing later on. Since this is just a repeating process around, I will meet you back here when we have just those remaining few stitches left. Okay, so now I have just a few stitches left for stuffing, and we can go ahead and stuff the mushroom cap. We want to make sure to only stuff it enough so that the stem lays nicely later on. Just like this. Now we can finish sewing the two pieces together and then hide any remaining tails. Okay, so making this last stitch, we can just bring it down here into the stem so that we can hide the tails. Now we can just cut the yarn and tuck the remaining tail into the stem. We are now done sewing the two pieces together. This is how the finished mushroom should look. The next step is going to be to add the gills. This is optional, which means you don't have to add them if you don't like, but I'm going to show you how to do so here. So for the gills, you're going to need your color of choice. Here I'm just going to be using the same color I used for the stem, and we're going to cut a long piece of it. Now we're going to thread it through our needle. Okay, so now taking our finished mushroom, starting anywhere on the edge of our stem, we will insert our needle, and then insert our needle into the 16th row of the stem. So just like this. Then we're going to pull through, leaving a little bit of a tail, and go back up into the seam of the mushroom, and back down into the 16th row of the stem. Pull through, and we have created our first gill. Now repeat the pattern from step 2 all the way around the mushroom until you're happy with the amount and the arrangement. So going to the 16th row, then back up to the seam, and then back into the 16th row, all the way around. Since we are repeating this process all the way around to create our gills, I will speed up here and meet you back to finish up. Okay, so here I'm done with all the gills, and now I'm just going to hide the tails, and we are done. You can weave in the ends, or you can just tie the two ends to a knot like I'm doing here. Now we just cut the yarn and hide the end through the mushroom stem using our needle. Okay, so now that we are done with these steps, we can push in our stem and we are done with the mushroom. This is how the finished mushroom should look. If you liked today's tutorial, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for more fun patterns like this one. I would also love to hear what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my other video where we turn this mushroom into a jewelry holder. You can store your bracelets, rings, and earrings all on this cute little dish. I hope you had so much fun. If you would like to check out some more patterns, you can find the link to my shop in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!